Mr. Santosh Verma, thank you so much for joining us on the SafetyConnect podcast. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tanmay. Thanks for inviting. It's a pleasure for me to be here. You are conducting a webinar with podcast with so many eminent speakers, and thank you very much for considering me for that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. So, before I jump into our invigorating conversation, let me give our audience a quick introduction about you. So, Mr. Santosh Verma is an accomplished HSE and sustainability professional with over 20 years of experience. He's worked across diverse sectors, including pharmaceuticals, textiles, chemicals, and food and beverage industries. Currently, he serves as HSE Culture and Performance Coach with the Sanofi Group, leading Asia, Pacific, and Middle East countries within the global operations team. Mr. Santosh has a proven track record in implementing international standards and driving sustainability strategies. He's an eminent speaker on HSE and sustainability topics. He's been recognized as a great Indian green leader and is a recipient of several global awards, including the Global HSE Award at Sanofi. Mr. Santosh is passionate about inspiring positive growth, strategic thinking, and unlocking potential in young professionals and leaders. He is also a marathoner, trekker, and budding author. So, thank you so much once again for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tanmay. Thanks for this detailed introduction. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Santosh, what got you into safety? Can you tell us a little bit about your background and why did you get into safety?
Yeah, well, so I'll give you. Earlier, I was not knowing about anything about this profession. Okay, I was doing my bachelor's in chemistry honors, and that time my brother actually he came in this field. Okay, then I learned about this fascinating profession, and then I started my career as fire safety engineer. I'm basically fire safety engineer, and then I kept on learning. Okay, undergoing continued my education and training, still undergoing. So transitioned from fire engineer to the safety engineer and learned about environment and then sustainability, and that's how my career progressed so far. So that was done. One thing that was very powerful happened with me. Okay, so when I came in this field, so I came for the good profession and career. But when I came, I was like surprised with the kind of impact this profession can make on the people on the planet. Okay. And, still I find every day there is opportunity to create that impact on the everyone. Okay. So that's how I started. And that gives me so much energy to drive and move forward. I'll give you some of the examples that I faced or I experienced. I mean, so someone's life got saved due to road accident, and their family members they were sharing their expression. The wife sharing her expression like आप लोगों की वजह से मेरा सुहाग बच गया. Okay, so that kind of expression and feeling that gives me goosebump and keep me moving every day. Okay, so that's how I came and still continuing because every day what we do, it's not about saving one injury or saving one life. It's about entire family collectively, their happiness and everything. So that's positive about this profession. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, even if one accident happens, right, the ramifications of that is so severe, right? The families are affected for this. So yes, I think it's such an important profession and something that also a lot of safety professions need to understand and be very foresighted about, whatever they're taking up, the quality of the initiatives and so on and so forth.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's very important. Every
True.
day and every effort, everything counts. Someday some will come as positive improvement.
Yeah. And you implemented some very interesting road safety initiatives at your company.
Yeah.
So I was wondering like how was that like, right? Like what's been the genesis of those initiatives that you have implemented? How did you go about implementing those?
So it was like we care for all our employees. We are a healthcare company, and that's in our gene, okay, in our DNA, son of his DNA, to protect our people, okay. And we are here to serve the community only, and to protect our protection of our people is paramount. So we started working on that, and in India per se, we know the complexity of road condition. The road risk is multifold, multifold if we compare from the Western countries. And in Sanofi also, India accidents were contributing, and there was strong need that was filled by the local management. It was filled by global management. And then how we started, we designed our entire program, and that has given good result here. Okay, so that was very structured approach. So it was like combination of the technical guidance, support from global team, and commitment of the local leadership team, combining both, that we could translate learnings from the global team, translated in the Indian scenario, and implemented here, that gave a positive result. So that was really transformating for us.
Right. And also, Mr. Santosh, I also noticed that in a lot of companies, which are also part of a a larger group, right? Whatever challenges are faced within one particular country, what is topmost priority there may not always be the priority for the at a group level, right? So so what is your thought about that, right? Like, how does a company or a India specific business try to also influence the global agenda or get global buy-in for a very pressing local matter? What is your thought on that?
So in that, I'll say we are fortunate in Sanofi. There was no point where we need to praise each other. Okay. So be it global team or local team, it's about complementing each other. Okay. So global team and their technical expert team, they're always supportive where they're available to the local, uh, facing what challenges local teams are facing and to resolve it. Local team, they understand it well, understand and learn, share each other, and that's how collectively both the teams are working. It's not about local team, global team is putting their thought agenda and priorities, or local team struggling with their priorities. It's about combinedly together they work, and that's how collectively we win.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is even at a global level, they
Yeah.
are very receptive to what the local needs are, and hence you're able to work together and help prioritize this as a as an agenda for that particular country. Right?
Yeah, of course. So I'm part of Global HSE team, and that's our priority to go understand the local situation and how best we can support to the local teams. So that's how we work. So it's a two-way approach, and both teams are working hand in hand. That's how we are creating this miraculous result, not only in India, in all wherever we work. So that's the
Un-
beauty of Sanofi. Yeah.
Got it. So since road safety is a topic which is very, very close to you and something you're very passionate about, I want to understand what are those specific initiatives that you had implemented in your company which have been instrumental to reducing road accidents?
Yes. So if we talk about any safety systems, so it's not about a few of those interventions, because it's like driving a car with missing components or parts. You can't drive, right? So same thing applies with safety or road safety systems as well. Means we need a complete ecosystem. Okay. So, and when we are planning for a uh, transforming road safety journey of a entire organization scale, okay, then it's not that easy. It's like requires lot of planning, monitoring program. So but key and the basis is PDCA cycle, what we call it, plan, do, check, act. Okay. But in this case also, to move that needle, leadership commitment is most important, that is required. I'll give you some examples what we implemented in India. So for the policy perspective. Okay, so broadly, if I'll classify all those interventions. Then these were like policy. We worked extensively on the capability building. We worked on the monitoring programs, monitoring and measuring of our impact and uh, effect on the safer vehicle, and the disciplinary policy and the reward and recognition were there. I'll briefly touch on the policy. Okay, we were already having global policy for road safety. Okay, but we know in India road safety situation is different, right? Due to the high population, the highest, second highest road network we have, highest number of fatalities we have, and there are various reasons to it. Okay, maybe different type of vehicle traffic mix we have, very high number of two-wheeler or motorbikes are there, and all this makes its combination makes it more vulnerable. So we thought and we planned to do more what it was done. Okay, so then we developed India specific policy considering those requirements from global policy as well, but certainly India specific features or risks. To address those risks, certain actions were included in that. So you can say global policy combining with the Indian situation. So that policy was drafted, and with the leadership support, that entire policy was deployed. One example on the second intervention, if I talk about the capability building. So capability building is one of the capabilities, one of the weak area in road safety. Okay, infrastructure, reinforcement, enforcement of law, all these things are in the hands of government. But education is something apart from government, as corporates also we can do, NGOs can do, and there are other stakeholders. They have various role to play. What we started, so we were having multiple level of training programs. Starts from onboarding training. Okay, so people coming joining from other companies, sometimes freshers, sometimes coming from, so very day one itself they are undergoing this onboarding training that makes them what is expected from them, what is Sanofi specific requirement expected from them, even for the road safety. Okay, so that is done. Then within 1 year they need to go undergo defensive driving techniques, and that gives them all full volume expectation and tools to equip themselves to, so that they can get protected in different adverse situations. Okay, third is on the periodical periodical training that was mainly virtual sessions. And in this training we were covering like learnings from accidents within Sanofi, within India, or within Sanofi network outside India, or outside Sanofi accidents. Okay, learning from those accidents, the basic thing that person must follow. So these are small trainings, 1 hour every quarter, that reminder that happens. Okay, and then there was practical training. Practical training is basically, in practical training certain things are Tanmay, that is knowledge, and there is a skill. Knowledge we can impart by giving them classroom training session, coaching, discussion. Okay, skills we can't give. Skills are basically person who do and then experience and learn. Okay, like I'll give you example of braking distance. Okay, so we can give, during classroom we say you apply front brake and rear brake both. Okay, in the combination, but how much we have to press on front brake, how much we have to press on the rear brake, that required to get a optimum level where we have braking, smaller braking distance. Okay, so to do that, practice is important. So practical training is done, and that frequency is 3 years, 3 to 5 years, depend on the person's vulnerability or history of and the quality of driving. Okay, one more intervention we did. So these were the 4 level of capability building. One more intervention we have, that we measure the driving behavior of person, and we classify, identify as high risk drivers. Okay, if there's certain people who are having, their driving is good, everything they are following good, but there are certain things in their driving behavior that makes them vulnerable. Okay, or there are certain criteria like if there is history of violating traffic norms, over speeding, rash driving, or within year 2 accidents happening, Okay, so in those situations, there are certain criteria defined. Someone is meeting that criteria, then those people get identified as a high risk driver. For them, there is specific training. So that's how, from beginners, there is one regular one, practical training, and then high risk driver training. So combining all these things leading to behavior change. Okay, so these are all on capability building. Same thing, after doing all this, how much result it is impacting or yielding on the ground, that is also important to check, right? So we have started a monitoring system. We call it My Safety Index. In that, we quantified all those road safety requirements and HSE leadership and behavior, what we expect from our people. Okay, so that were quantified, and matrix was made. So we have started implementation of My Safety Index. That gave us the depth and width of the implementation of entire program. In which part of country, within which team, what is depth of my road safety program implementation. Okay, that started giving. So that measurement was important, so that we can take appropriate actions, right? And then last was on the maintenance of vehicle and uh, reward reward and recognition, and that was both ways. So on the identifying positive behaviors, rewarding them, and there were certain behaviors which were detrimental to the safety culture, so disciplinary actions were also provisioned for them. Okay, so managing positive behavior and managing negative behavior, so that was also done. Combining all this yielded result for us. Yep.
Good. So, can you talk a little bit about like what was the tangible result that you saw at the end of this after implementing this program?
So I'll give you. So there were a lot of improvement we got. Okay. So on the number of lost time injuries, okay, that significantly got down. Okay. Number of near misses starting going up. Okay. More we created that awareness, then people started, and it was important for them to report everything transparently, getting the data, reaching, analyzing the data, investigating those accidents. Okay, so that's important. So we got the positive sign, the improvement in leading this near miss reports from the sales team. So that was positive. And simultaneously, lost time or higher severity accident number were starting getting down. Okay, so that was a big improvement. Plus plus when I was discussing with one of our managers. Okay, so we started a program called managers coaching. Okay, road safety coaching. When field managers, when they go in field, then they talk about they do exclusive session with their teams on road safety. Okay, and in that they were talking while joint field working, how was their observation, was there any improvement area, or was the positive things. Okay, during those exclusive discussion, they don't talk about business. And once we implemented this program, then I was just casually talking with one of manager. Okay, it's important for us when we implement new program, then keep on assessing whether it is working. If we don't do that, then after some times it becomes a tick box ritual. Okay, so it's important for us HSC leaders also to keep on evaluating the implementation relevancy of those programs. So I was interacting with one of business managers. I asked him, what do you feel about this program when you do the road safety coaching? So is it working, or do you feel it's a extra workload for you? And you know what was his reply? So we are very happy with this program because this gives me one more opportunity and point of contact with my team. Okay, and during this time we don't talk about business, we don't talk about any other routine stuffs. These discussions are purely between leader and his person and his team member on his safety and well-being. Okay, that gives good connect and engagement within the team. Okay, and with the organization, people have started feeling they are more valued. Okay, and their safety, their well-being is important for the company. Okay, so that gave and helped on the positive morale. Certainly the number of lost days gone down, So people were more number of days in the field. So those days parameters were also there. But it was positive and visible culture change we saw after implementing all these programs. It took us time, and certainly it's not a one shot activity. It's a continuous journey. But we have seen the deeper the program is getting penetrating, more transparent, better culture, number of near misses getting reported, serious accidents getting down, people's attendance, presence during the trainings, and leaders speak and leaders engagement that kept on going upper side. Yeah.
Oh, it's very nice to hear about the feedback that that person gave, right? And I
Yeah.
think that in itself talks about the success of the program which was implemented.
Yeah.
So what of the challenges that you faced while implementing this, and how did you overcome those?
Yeah. So there were many. And when we talk about the challenges, then mainly it was related to mindset of people. Okay. Getting a hardware is very easy. Just to spend money and you get that hardware. But changing mind is very difficult. Okay. Fortunately, it was there were not so many people, but still I'll say two challenges I feel, and I feel might be relevant for other corporates as well. Okay. So one was, uh, nothing can be done in India. Okay. So that kind of mindset, and people were talking like this. Okay. So when we maintain the speed from the vehicle ahead of me, someone else get entered into it. Okay. Even if I am following the road safety norm, others are not following, then what is point in having? India में गाड़ियां इतनी है, accident is bound to happen, this will keep on happening, we can't stop it. Okay. So that kind of mindset was there with the people. Okay. We shown them different transformative journey within some other corporates, within our company in other country. Okay. And even some other countries that did that transformation outside Sanofi as well. So there were various case studies, how those countries, how those corporates, how those teams transform their journey, and we also can do that. That kind of belief that we can do, and all accidents are preventable. So getting into this was very important, and this required a lot of discussion, deliberation, and convincing sessions for that. Okay, so this was one. Second challenge I faced is about people don't consider earlier. There people were not considering, many people, that road safety training is required. Okay, lot of people they think road safety is just a common sense thing. Okay, road safety is just a common sense thing. So that was the belief of many persons. Okay. And they were thinking, what I'll learn. Okay. So when we started this training, and when we were initial days, when we were calling them for training, so many of them, they thought, what will I do? I'm driving for last 25 years. Someone said, I'm driving for 30 years. I have just 2 or 3 years left for my retirement. What will I learn then? Okay. So that kind of mindset. But and that's the most challenging thing. Most challenging thing when you don't know what you don't know, right? So, but we pulled them, come, just join your first training. And when they join, after 1 hour, within 1 hour, they realize there are a lot of things they don't know. Okay. And after that, there was no that resistance. So that was just resistance was to bring them to the classroom. Once they entered the classroom, after that, that was that belief was vanished, because they realized there are a lot of things they don't know, and they learned, and that made them positive change. So these two things, one, the belief system, India mein kuch nahi ho sakta hai, that was to be broken, and second was I know everything. So one was at culture and country level, second was for the individual level. So these two challenges I feel that was most prominent for me.
Got it. So, but once you got them into that training room, I think everything kind of fell in
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
That was important.
yeah.
So, Mr. Santosh, what do you think is a solution to this, right? Because some corporates are taking this initiative. Of course, there's a lot more that can be done. But what else do you think is important to be done at a country level so that we can reduce the number of road accidents? Do you think it's maybe stronger regulation or stricter regulation or different policies? What do you think is the solution there?
So in that, I'll tell you, Tanmay. So there are five pillars of road safety. Okay, and in that only we have to do as country. Okay, maybe give me. I'll tell you about the first pillar is about the regulations, and so that's the most important regulation. We should have stringent regulations. That is important, and enforcement of those regulations. Okay, enforcement often in the rural areas or in the cities, okay, in metros especially, it's a pretty good shape. But if you move to up country, there is very weak enforcement. Okay, as country we need mature and proper enforcement of regulation all across. So having stringent regulation, enforcement, education is weak. So maybe government can think to start from the curriculum and everyone learns from the beginning. Okay, so that part, behavior and cultural change is important. For that, participation of NGOs, civil society, and everyone. In addition to the political will, social will is also required for that change. Okay, infrastructure upgradation is required, and that is happening. But that is mostly on the at national level. National highways are improving, but there are a lot of things to be done at in the rural areas. Okay, so that's there. So I believe on the regulation, on the enforcement, on the road safety infrastructure, on the road safety education. So we need to work. So these are the areas. I'll give you example of infrastructure. I visited many countries and saw different speed vehicles driving in different lanes. Okay, there are dedicated lane for two-wheeler. There is dedicated lane for logistics lorries, and there are different lane for cars. In our country, population is high, vehicle density is high. So in that case, what happened? All different speeding vehicles are running together, and that is also one of the biggest contributor for accidents. They can't person running in a high speed car can't visualize about uh, the limitations of motorbike. Okay, so that's how it goes, and same vice versa. Motor person sitting on motorbike can't imagine how it is look like while sitting in a big dumper on the road. Okay, so and that's a contributing factor for accidents. So if we have that kind of segregation, then probably that will really help, and many countries they have achieved by doing this.
Understood.
Yeah,
I mean, so you spoke about the five pillars, right?
right.
Now, that is something which is in the control of the government mostly. But do you think there are certain things that maybe individuals or corporates can contribute towards those critical pillars?
Yeah, yeah, of course. See, regulations, government is regulations and their enforcement and wider infrastructure. Okay, so that is government is managing. But for the road safety education, okay, and what we have done, we have strengthened that part only. Okay, in this situation, when regulations are not very favorable, enforcement is weak, infrastructure is not suitable or not up to the mark, that makes the situation more vulnerable. How to protect yourself in that vulnerable situation, that we can teach in education as part of defensive driving training or behind the wheel training. Okay, for the drivers, but just training to drivers are not enough. We need, if we have to achieve the road safety situation, then it's about all road users, be it pedestrian, be it motorist, be it passengers, be it drivers, be it riders, right? So we have to engage with all the stakeholders. We can focus on education, training, and culture part as corporate we can do. Yeah.
Understood. So, Ms. Santosh, if a company is just starting off with their road safety journey, say it's not like a global enterprise or not part of a large conglomerate, right? So, but they have, say, 500 employees who are sales reps on the field. How should they go about starting their road safety journey?
So in this, I feel they need to first leadership commitment is required. Okay, if any company want to change, then with the leadership commitment is doable. Lot of things can be done. Okay, so first and most important is to have leadership. Second, they can work. So when I saw leadership, then their policy, the involvement of leaders at various level that is required. Second is on capability building based on the what type of vehicles they are driving, riding, or what type of risk they are exposed to, how they can manage or protect themselves from that risk. Okay, creating for themselves or creating for others, right? So capability building is one that they can focus. Infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure, when I say, it's not about road only, but there are certain things like whether vehicles are safe, if we can give ISI mark helmets, okay, or more. So there are many things that on hardware part, if companies can support, so that really boosts. Okay, we also have program on giving branded helmets every 2 years. If you don't give, what happen? Knowing unknowing people buy poor quality helmets. Okay, and in that case, if something happen, then helmet is not going to protect. So certain thing that company can take on us on one, monitor all these programs implementation. Okay, whether even helmet is given, whether people are wearing it, whether they are wearing it properly, chin straps are applied, right? So just giving is not enough. Or vehicle maintenance giving, but whether vehicle are really maintained. Okay, the tires are properly changed, are all indicators are working. So these are very basic things can be checked. It's not required very technical understanding, but these are very basic thing but very vital, okay, for a driver or rider. And to combine all these and keep on going, so there is one glue, okay, to keep the leadership moment going, to keep the infrastructure, keep the capability building and all the processes going. The glue is called safety culture. Okay, so that if culture is working and properly all these things can applied, then certainly with the combining, this can give positive result. So that's a very important.
Understood. Got it. No, I think this is very critical, right? That the safety culture and any tips on how to for that person who is starting off their road safety journey or a company which is new into establishing a strong safety culture. What are those few actionables that they can do to ensure that they set up strong with respect to a safety culture?
So for that, leadership tone is most important. Okay, and leaders' participation in those activities. It's not required the leader to do everything, go and check everybody's vehicle. Okay, but participating in these discussions. Okay, if some leadership sessions are happening, town hall is happening, whether leaders are talking about safety. Okay, when they are meeting, whether they are talking about safety. So I was discussing with someone, and it's about when someone asks you anything, then you uh, take care of it. It happens in corporates also. When manager asks about anything, then every time, next time when person goes, then make sure all those answers are ready, right? So safety also, when leaders at different level, when they are talking about safety of the people, how you was by driving last time I saw you, you were making these violations, how it is today I'm going to observe you. So that make them conscious, and every time this unconscious and conscious efforts slowly comes into the culture and they learn. Okay, so leadership, visible leadership is very important. Okay, and then look at what is relevant risk and then make appropriate plans for that. And there are lot of success stories in India. Okay, so they can connect, and lot of learnings are available. They can connect, learn and implement, customize as per their organization's need and requirement. Okay, and if I talk about behavior, let me just elaborate. I'll take little more time on this. So
Okay.
in Mumbai I see two things, Tanmay. Okay, so I don't know if you got opportunity to visit. There is a place called Andheri. Okay. And in Andheri, on the railway station, so there is Andheri railway station. Just next to that Andheri railway station, it is Andheri metro station. Okay. And it is connected just with a bridge. It's a connected. But when you move from one side to other side, you see drastic change in the both the sides. Okay. In Andheri side, railway station side, you will find people are all flocking together. Okay. On the status of cleanliness and everything. You will find a typical railway station, good maintained railway station. And if you just cross the bridge, okay, and if you reach on metro side, then you will find everything well lit, orderly, line marking, signages, and people are standing in queue. Okay, and you will feel like it's an entirely different world, but it's just matter of just 50 meters. Okay, what make that difference? Okay, so that's what. So it's not that, and the same set of people are traveling to both the locations. It's not about the people using metro are different or the people using other side of railway station is different. Okay, so users are same, just it's the mindset created on those locations. Okay, one more thing I find very fascinating when I go uh, when we talk about the regulations and enforcement. So you would have traveled many a time within airport, the shuttle, what it takes from terminal to the aircraft. Okay, so how they drive, they wait for other vehicle to pass. Okay, there is speed limit. They have to just cross a road, but still they don't take they don't just cross. They take full circle route and then they reach to their destination. They don't stop anywhere else apart from the assigned place. Okay, so everything is there. If you look at ambience within that airport scenario, how the bus and other vehicles are moving, same people are driving on the road as well with the maybe the different thought process or different speed, the different discipline. So it's not about the people, it's about how we are enforcing the same regulations. If DGCA has implemented and within premises of airport everything is very well streamlined, then how come after coming out people behave different way? Okay, so it's all about enforcement, how it works. People made themselves as per the local situation.
No, that's a very interesting point that you raised. So, like the way we have certain countries have mandatory military conscription, right? Maybe we
Yeah.
should, wherein they have to spend, say, 1 year or 2 years mandatorily in the army or any of the services. Similarly, we should have mandatory airport driving conscription for everybody.
Yes, yes, yes.
Probably then everybody will start driving a little safer.
Yeah, and it's in everywhere, every city we see. But one thing is fascinating that airports are controlled by DGCA and all across, be it in Mumbai airport or Guwahati or Jammu or everywhere. Anywhere you go and you find the same type of discipline. Okay.
Yeah, true.
But not the situation on the road. Okay.
That,
So we
that's
need that good culture and good homogeneity outside road as well.
true, true. I think it just comes down to also people starting to realize that they shouldn't only think about, okay, me first, right? It's okay. We don't have to be in such a big hurry. We can just wait a little. Let's be a little patient. Let's be a little compassionate also while we're on the road and not think that only I want my way first, right? Like it's okay. And everybody's anyway going to the same place. You're going to
Same
reach there.
place. Yeah,
Take a
same
few.
place. It's not about they're saving much of time. It's not there because I have experienced. So when I was driving to office, okay, so I've with few of the colleagues, then I marked look at this vehicle and how they are driving. They were taking all left turn and moving haphazardly. And when we were reaching to Powai, then it was like similar time, hardly 5 minutes distance. So it's not about if you're hurrying then you will reach early or someone is following rule they will come late. It's not that. The difference is 25 30 kilometers. It's a difference of just 5 minutes or 7 minutes. But to make that 5 or 7 minutes, to make so many abrupt movements, okay, and that jeopardize driver safety as well as other road user safety. Because that's not the worth. Yeah.
And also it affects the mindset of that person, right? Because
Yeah.
they would in general be a little more restless because of the way in which they're driving.
Yeah.
Two ways. Either they're restless because because of which they're driving like that, or their driving nature also would make them a little anxious, restless, frustrated.
Yeah.
And from mindset perspective, it's not great because that's not the right mind space you want to be in before you start work or start anything important, right? So you might as well just chill and then drive and get to your place and then start your work.
Yeah. Rightly
Yeah.
said. Yeah.
So, Mr. Santosh, what's that one message you want to leave people with?
So maybe I'll not one. So I have two things that I'll leave people to think of. Okay. So one from the spirituality point of view. Okay. Everyone came in this planet to do something. Okay. Everybody has some purpose. Okay. And if you look at the simple metrics of 1.75 lakh people killed, if you do that's just a minor analysis, you will find there were so many engineers, so many doctors, scientists, CAs, okay, students, factory workers, uh, marketing team, sales teams, and so many people from the different profession. Just if you look at collectively what wonders they could have done today, okay, but due to their own mistakes or someone else mistake, it's not mistake, there's a mistake is when you don't know the consequences, unknowingly we do. But most of the cases when we call accident road accident, that's not the road accident, because knowingly people jump the traffic signal, knowingly speed limit, people over speed, and that create uh, accident, collision for them or for others. Okay. So own due to own acts or someone else act, those people got died. Just imagine if they could have been safe today and they could have contributed for the world and for the larger society. Okay, so we as society we missed those contributions. Okay, so that's a one way of looking at it, and that's why every life is precious, and whatever we can do, we should do to protect each and every life, be it corporate in our all capacities, be it corporate, government, NGOs, or any road users. Okay, so that's a one thing that I leave people to think of. So how it is impacting our life. Second thing is on the when we talk about road safety, lot of people they think about it's about driving, okay, or riding, but it's not about riding or driving. It's about all the road users, whoever on the road, be it driver, rider, pedestrian, okay. So for everyone, and as community we have to come together, and everyone is relevant on this, okay, everyone has to participate in this, and we need a real life real social transformation in this. And it's not that cannot be done. We have success stories, examples. At countrywide we came together, we worked, and we have achieved. I'll give you example of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Okay, when it was started, it was looking like it's a difficult, but we see certainly it's not that 100% we have achieved, but we see a lot of difference what used to be before Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, what it is today. Take the example of the digital payments. Okay, before launching, nobody could have achieved that for every 10 rupees in the rural area, you will go and you will spend with UPI. But that was looking like impossible. How the people who are not tech savvy, kind of what we were using at that time. But now we know tech savvy is not required to just make a UPI payments, right? So anybody can do. Same thing happened during vaccination or COVID time. Everyone came together and that mass campaign were done and we achieved a lot of things. So we have that potential. It's just need of our the political will, the social collaboration. If we come together, it's a doable. As society, as in country, we can achieve good road safety performance here. But we are waiting for the right time to come. Yep.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Santosh. And thank you for sharing all your learnings and insights. This was really an very interesting interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tanmay. So for this was all we experienced during the journey. Let's see if it is useful for the people, but certainly getting some learnings and customizing it for their organization, certainly it is going to help and derive positive results. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.